Hey all, after watching Katrina's video, I realized that I don't have to do like this giant video edited thing, so all I have to do is hit record, so I'll just do that. So that makes things a lot easier. First major thing I'm working on is First Robotics. The We finished build season. You have like 5 weeks to design and build the robot. So the robot's built. I was helping out with the programming side, but it's not finished yet. So we still have a little bit of time that we're allowed to work on for programming before the competition. So that should help. The issue, I guess, was that first we were working on the Arduino to try to resurrect an old robot, but that's not something you need to be working on during the build season, especially since the Arduino isn't the thing that you normally that you're allowed to control the robot with. You have to use a different computer. So that kind of sucked. And then we just decided to move to using C++ because this last year we said we were going to switch to C++, and it's this year now, so we should switch to C++. So we're teaching like an actual programming language to the kids, but it took like weeks. I'm only really able to come in on the weekends, so it took like weeks to it took weeks to get the environment set up, and at that point we were kind of late in the build season and we needed something to work. So we said, oh, well, we'll just use the code from last year. And so we took the code from last year and we imported it into this year's development environment, and everything broke and we're like panicking. So we got that to work because it turned out we needed to install some updates and some extra libraries and stuff like that. So that got installed, and so we have a mostly working robot. The shooter works. The the robot drives around. Now we need it to scoop up the ball so that we have a ball to shoot. So I've been helping with that on the weekends. We've got one kid who's doing the programming, and I'm mentoring him. And sometimes he can't come in, and so the coach started working on the code, and and of course I'm coding in LabVIEW, which is a graphical programming language. Nancy might know about it. Anyways, so I don't really know anything about LabVIEW, so we're getting used to that, and the idea of working in a graphical programming environment versus typing it up kind of sucks. Okay, so the competition is March 13th, 14th, and 15th, uh, uh, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I still need to figure out where that arena is. It's in Kansas City somewhere. I should probably figure that out. The next thing I'm working on is I'm working on a pathing library for Python in Python for the MegaMiner AI tournament. So basically, it seems like the last 2 or 3 MegaMiner AI competitions I've gone to, we get 4 hours in and we're like, we need pathing that's better than walk towards the target, because it sucks when you run into a wall and you don't figure out that you've run into a wall yet. So I finally got tired of. So every time that happens, we end up writing the A-star algorithm because that's the best, right? So then we end up going through 12 to 20 hours of our allotted 24 hours trying to debug our A-star code. So that sucks, and I'm tired of it. So I'm working on building a library, so I have all that done beforehand. I can just drop in the library and say, okay, find me a path from here to there, and I know it works, and I know it's performant. It doesn't just, like, take forever. So that would be nice. I've got it to the point where I think I've architected away the problem with the original code, where the issue was it was trying to keep track of the child's parent, and it wasn't doing it correctly because different paths could cross over the same position, and so the way it was being stored was in a Python dictionary. Which, if you take the child, if the child is the key and the parent is the value, then if you have a new child that overwrites the position of the old child, it would just delete your path, and so you had strange and funky paths. So I'm working on that. Right now, it doesn't compile. Well, it's interpreted, but it won't run. Actually, it will run, I think, except it won't iterate over the fact that I didn't give it a path. Anyways, so yeah, so that's what I'm working on there. And last major thing is I'm in Toastmasters, which is like a stand up and speak in front of people club. So for those of us who don't enjoy public speaking, you can get practice. And yeah, that's basically it. You know, write up a speech and get some practice with it and go. So this Wednesday, I gave my fifth speech. The goal is to get to 10 speeches at your first project. And I basically told a really long joke for that. My dad knows a whole bunch of terrible jokes, and one of them happened to be amenable to expanding to the point where it's like a 5 minute long spiel with a really terrible punchline. But it's about the meaning of life. So, if you want to hear about the meaning of life, I could tell it.